everybody, Monica here at Handmade Bay, and today is the first day of our Learn It, Make It, Flaunt It challenge for the month. Okay, it's February, and this month's project is Fashionably Handmade. So you're going to work on your journal, and this is going to be our theme for the month. Now, if you're part of the beginners project that we're going to do all year long, make sure you refer to different options of making your book, either with the paper bags, the envelopes, and see what fits your style. Okay, and now what I'm going to do today is we're going to talk about making your covers using your pattern books. If you have these pattern envelopes. Okay, so I'm going to show you 3 different ways that you could get creative with using this as your cover. So let's get started. So this method is the freezer paper method, and again we're just looking to stabilize our cover for this. Okay, so freezer paper is something you can find everywhere in the grocery store. All right, and that's the brand I have, but whatever you have by you. And freezer paper is, one side is waxy and the other side is dry, like parchment paper. Okay, parchment paper will be just this, the crinkly dry paper. Wax paper has this on both sides, so this is a combination of both. All right, so make sure you understand what you're going to get to do this. All right, so to start off, you're going to get your freezer paper and you're going to cut it down to the size of your book. Okay, you're going to have the shiny side up, and you are going to lay the inside of your cover to this. Okay, so because this is not going to come off, all right, so you're going to have this nice dry parchment paper on the inside to either sew on fabric, sew on more paper, or to decorate. So the plastic, the wax that's on this side is going to protect this from anything you do inside. So a great alternative to get this good. Okay, so we're going to lay it on top. You're going to be on your ironing board, and you can use parchment paper to cover this because you're going to iron it. You can also iron it this way, but make sure you cover your ironing board with a towel so you don't get any of this wax on there. But so you don't have to worry about that. If you don't have parchment paper, just go ahead and use your printer paper. Okay, and this can act as your parchment paper. And what you're going to do with your iron on high heat, all right, everybody's irons are different. Just the only thing you don't do is use steam. Okay, and you're just going to take it on high heat, and you're just going to go over it. Okay, kind of like if you sew and you put on interfacing on your fabric, it's the same thing. It's basically what you're doing. You're putting stabilizer on the back, and you could use fabric stabilizer. I have done that too. So whatever you have at home. Okay, if you sew, you have tons of interfacing stabilizer. But if you don't, this is a nice, inexpensive way to get this done. Okay, and you're going to keep going over it and keep checking it. Okay, your parchment paper will stick to the outer layer, but that's fine. Okay, and you're going to keep going until you see that it is sticking to it. Okay, now here's what's going to happen. If you don't force peel it, because you see this part didn't work, but this stabilized and it started ripping. So be very careful. If a little bit's lifting and the rest isn't, you just need to do that little part. All right. So let me finish this one up and I'll be right back. Okay, so now here is our new cover. Now you see we have the old, it's very thin, right? And fragile. And now we have a solid cover that you can work with. And I even left a tab on here because I figured I could fold it down and just incorporate that somehow. I didn't want to cut it off. And just another idea too, you can take the pattern pieces and do the same thing. All right, and you could leave one piece with it on, so this could be the part you glue in your book, and then you can leave the rest without it on, and then you still have, you know, the feel of a pattern and be able to fold it and have that nice sound. Okay, so that's some ideas. Also, another thing, if you do have vintage ones and you don't want to tear up the cover or use it, put it on the copy machine and make a copy of it and use the copy. Okay, and you can copy it then on thicker paper, and you don't have to worry about, you know, destroying your original. All right, I have a lot of these, so this one is not hard to find. You can find this online very inexpensively. So so those are your choices for making a cover with your pattern envelopes. I don't know what they're called, but yeah. All right, so now for this one, I'm leaving plain, all right? But if you wanted it to have a shiny look, you could take contact paper. You know, in my videos, you can use contact paper, but I like the Duck brand one because you get more of a crystal clear look. So if that's what you wanted to do, you could go ahead and cover that up. All right, on to the next project. Okay, for our next project, if you do not want to use your original envelope for your fabric, I told you that you can go ahead and put it on your copy machine and make a copy of it and use the copy so you can keep the integrity of the original. Now, if you're part of the new monthly project that we're doing for the whole year, and you're going to work with the index card booklets or the paper bags that I showed you, what you can do is scan this into your computer and adjust the size to fit whatever size page that you're using, okay, and then print it out. And so, for example, this I resized it when it went to print, and everybody has a different printer, so you're just going to have to choose your 8.5 by 11 paper, and then your image, have it fit to page, and then choose your measurements that you want. Okay, I did a 5 by 7, so I did it a little bigger than what I needed. Okay, so for this one, this is the 4 by 6 cards. Okay, so if you're going to do this project and just fold these in half, you can go ahead and do it that way, and then get your index card book. So this is doing it on the smaller scale, right? So that's the 4 by 6. Now you can do it on your 3 by 5, which would be this one. Glue it on and then fold, and then you have your book for the 3 by 5s. All right, so, but again, you can use any size paper you want to do. But miniatures are so cute, right? I think they are just adorable. Well, let me get into the frame here. All right, and just fold it over, and you're going to glue it however you want to glue it, and you can then have your miniature book. So you can do, again, the bigger original book, or if you're doing the smaller ones, you can go ahead, again, scan it in your computer, adjust the size, and you can make whatever size you want, and it looks like the original. Okay, so I hope that helps with some other ideas for your cover. Okay, so now this is our cover that we did with the parchment freezer paper, so to give it some, you know, sturdiness to it. So here's another option. If you have a sewing machine, you could go ahead and line your inside with fabric. Okay, now you could do this in multiple different ways. All right, what I did was I took some fabric, cut it to the size of this, but left a little more, left probably 1/2 inch on the outside. Then I sprayed the inside of this. Now you could use any glue you want, but if you're going to use your sewing machine, you really don't want to gunk up that needle. So what I would recommend is using some quilting spray. If you sew, you have this, and this will prevent any gunk from getting on your sewing machine needle. If you don't have that, you could use spray glue. You could just baste it on. You could even use some interfacing and glue it on that way if you want with the iron. Okay, once you get it glued down, and it's just to hold it temporarily, then I took this and I ran it through my sewing machine, and I stitched all the way around and then cut off the excess. Okay, so this is a great alternative to doing your inside cover if you didn't want to just leave it white. Okay? And that's that cover. So I hope you got some ideas for your cover for your Fashionably Handmade, Learn It, Make It, Flaunt It for this month. And I would love to see your progression in the project. Remember, if you're a beginner, this is a great start. All right, if you want to do the index cards, this is a great way to do it, and really on a small scale. Now, what I'm going to do this month is have different tutorials for you, and to see what I'm doing on each page, and you can incorporate that into yours, and how I did different things. Okay, and if you have any questions, please post them down below. Come on over to the studio, and thank you for stopping by. I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.